So what Enbridge was talking about is basically utility tax. Ashland County is part of the county association, the Wisconsin Utility Tax Association. Years ago, as we have all these different utilities, so anything that classifies would be telecommunications, pipelines, Excel, properties, they basically pay into the state, and then the state distributes that money to the counties. Decades ago, it used to be the counties would receive 80% of these proceeds and the state would receive 20%. It's a reciprocal now. And so the counties get about 20% of this and the state keeps 80%. So and we're part of this organization. I attend conference calls, monthly meetings, and this is a legislative fix. And they've been working on it for quite some time, and they've been working on it for a number of years, this association, trying to figure out how to get legislation through, and we continually advocate for this, but it's not going to happen unless our legislators know about it. Once I get more information, or we get a bill that's pending, it goes to a write-up committee, I'll be coming back to you, the governing body, to give a letter of support for these changes, but they're not at that stage yet. So you are right, we would get some, but I can't tell you, it's not a significant amount of money. So.
Yes, Gary.
Yeah, I think we go back to the original problem here. Basically, it's the city of Melon's problem. If they try to sell this land, it reverts back to the county. So we have to make a decision as a county, what do we want to do? Do we want the land and we negotiate with Enbridge, or do we turn it over to Mellon and let them negotiate? I think Mellon has a problem at the moment, and somehow the county's got to figure this out, because it's very clear in here that they can't give this to Enbridge. It'll come back to the county first.
I think it's kind of an interesting discussion because, Mr. Barabee here from Mellon says that, we should support this because it helps Mellon, and if Mellon could help others, they would help others in a similar situation. It'd be easy to test that by, the county getting that property back, and then the county makes the deal, because that would show us, whether that's true or not. Because if we would say, no, we're not going to release that deed restriction, they could say, well, we're not going to sell it to Enbridge and hang on to it to block that. So, we don't know what would happen there. And I guess there's a lot of different moving pieces on this, and there's a lot of good that can come out of it. And I understand the concern that many of our citizens have about whether they should be here in the first place at all. But I don't think we're going to solve anything here today directly, and what I would suggest is that a committee, we direct our corp counsel with Clark and the Mellon Corp counsel to sit down and see if they can come up with a proposal that would make sense for everybody involved here. And then that would come back to the full board, who would weigh in as to whether that's acceptable to the county. So I guess my thinking is that there needs to be a lot more discussion and a lot more understanding between the legal entities. What can we do, what makes sense, and what is going to be the greater good for the county.
I just want to say that the sale is not going to go through unless there's an agreement, and then it would not revert back to the county automatically. I would say that the term public purpose is broad. And there could be other interpretations of what public purpose means. Pipelines do have authority, once approved by the Public Service Commission, for a route to exercise eminent domain, which supports that that's public purpose. There are issues that you bring up. If the county wants to negotiate directly with the city, though, I just want to know, we do have a conflict of interest waiver right now, but obviously my firm represents both, and so both sides would probably be getting alternative counsel if there's direct negotiations between the two. Right now, we feel that the interests are actually relatively aligned in wanting to maintain these trails and try to come with some common purpose here to see what can go on. But if people are arguing over money, then those are not aligned, and there might be issues there.
And our core counsel, Max, is in the back also. So if you have any questions from the county's perspective, even though these guys work for the same firm, you can ask our attorney that question, and like you said, and I basically, before we entered into this meeting, these guys basically got advice to say, can they at least introduce this topic working for the same firm? And the answer was yes. The question is, if we go into some sort of negotiations, we start talking about money, we start talking about some sort of issue that would satisfy the county, that just didn't involve signing off on the deed, then Mellon would get another attorney. Is that correct?
That's the understanding right now, yes.
Yes, yeah. And so I think the choice of the county is, would this committee support signing off on this deed restriction on a resolution that says they would allow Mellon to sell this piece of property without having it revert back to the county? I mean, I guess, is that even legal for us to do?
Yeah, you could essentially do a quick claim deed transferring this right of reversion.
So we would do a quitclaim deed without the restriction, or with the restriction removed. The county could approve that, and that would be the end of it.
Well, right, but if there were some conditions that they wanted with that, if they were acceptable to Mellon, it would be fine to go ahead that way if they're also acceptable to Enbridge. But to the extent that there might be a conflict between the city and county, that's when I would jump off. But like if the committee were to somehow just let the city know what exactly they want, the city's prepared to work towards that, to try to get this resolved.
You know, for me, you have a wide decision here. You can go this way or this way. I think you should decide as a committee, would you recommend that you basically sign a quitclaim deed with no compensation for the good of the order? And if you're not willing to do that, then we go a different direction. And that direction is, maybe like what Matt said, maybe we, me and our attorney work on some sort of compensation, something that we would dedicate towards, land conservation, towards wetlands mitigations, towards some public good at the county level versus at the town level or just the city level. But I think we could argue this point all day. I think you should make a motion and decide if you want to just sign a quitclaim deed and be done with it as a recommendation to go to the county board. And if you're not willing to do that, then direct us to do something else. Direct staff to do something else.
And I would just, in addition to that, say, if the city is kind of sitting on the side where the county's going to engage Enbridge directly to see if a resolution to this issue can be resolved, the city's open to that. The city just wants to try to keep this moving forward timely and see if a solution can be accomplished here to get this thing wrapped up, because the city will then make plans with the funding they hope to receive thereafter.